many bands would you say that you've been in?
I've been in a lot of bands.
We'll be talking to members from the hottest go-go bands out of the DMV area right here. Keep it locked.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air for the godfather of go-go, godfather, Sean.
What's up, everybody? My name is Kenny Ken Dog Haskins Jr. Everybody know me as KD. We started this show in hopes of bridging the gap between fans and their favorite musicians when it comes to the go-go circuit. A lot of people, they've been rocking with bands for years and years and don't even know not one person in the band's name. At the same time, we wanted to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that go-go lives on forever. So without further ado, I want to see if you guys can guess who this next band is. Candy, roll that clip. Okay, everybody, so if you just watched that small clip and you guessed that that was Kaddy Musik, you was absolutely right. Today we have with us a young lady who has not only blazed many stages across the DMV, she is also known for her great personality and her huge voice. So without further ado, I bring to everybody Adia from Kaddy Musik. Adia, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm glad you made it. Are you and your family staying safe in these COVID-19 times?
We are. First, let me say thank you for even the opportunity to come on your platform. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so far so good. You know, we're doing our thing over here, being safe. You know, I'm trying to get through this homeschool thing, which is a whole nother beast in itself. But
oh my God.
You know, we're maintaining. You know, can't complain.
Yeah. When it comes to the homeschooling, we all of us parents should be able to put on our resume that we are now /teachers.
I'm trying to tell you, it has been a whole ordeal because my daughter seems to think that she's on summer vacation already. So, you know, trying to keep her motivated and stuff. I mean, she loves not going to school, but man, I got to get her life together over here.
Yeah, it's rough. Well, let me welcome you to FaceTime with GoGo, and we'll go ahead and get started with the interview. First question I want to ask you is, how old were you when you first got started singing?
Oh my gosh. So singing as far as in the go-go world or just period?
Just period.
Okay, so I mean, same typical story. I grew up in church. I started in church. You know, my grandmother was the choir director for the little kids. We were called the Shining Stars.
Okay.
So of course, because my grandparents were so involved and active in the church, my grandmother was a deaconess as well, grandfather deacon. It was a no-brainer that we were going to be in church functions and different activities. So that's where it got started at. And I was probably maybe like 6, 7 wow. Maybe. Yeah. So I was a little kid.
Wow. And you originally from DMV area?
I am from Virginia. I'm from Northern Virginia. I grew up in Fairfax, and Fairfax as in by George Mason University, so not the highway. I typically have to make that distinction because people typically think that when I say Fairfax, I mean I'm from Alexandria. But okay. No, I grew up in Fairfax County, right by the courthouse. I know a lot of people know where the courthouse is.
Yes.
Anyways, so yeah, I grew up right across the street from George Mason University. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. When was your first go-go show that you went to? Not that you performed, but you went to, that you witnessed.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, I wasn't as exposed to go-go as early as some of my folks that I know that lived in DC and Maryland, right?
Yeah.
I think my earliest exposure was like at cookouts, where they play JY and all that stuff. That was like the earliest EU and all that stuff. But going to my first go-go, I was probably like, gosh, maybe a senior in high school. And I think the very first, well, no, I always went to the little summer events. Remember back in the day, they used to have the summer, I don't know if it was a summer jam or the summer events with all the bands outside, sometimes at the DC Armory and stuff. So I went to a couple of those. But my first go-go was at the Black Hole. I went to go see Backyard, and that was a whole experience. Okay.
I'm sure that was an experience.
Listen, it was something different. I think we were trying to be all cute, and I had all these, I don't know what I had, something in my hair, bobby pins. I don't know, maybe it was a ponytail or something. And I got in there, they were like, take all the bobby pins out. You got a bra with wire, take it off.
Oh my gosh.
It was like going into war for real just to get into the show. But I mean, it was a good show. I mean, we got tear gassed out of it, but hey,
Wow.
It was still pranking though.
Wow, that's something. So can you tell us about your first show when you first hit the stage? How was that?
So let me see. Okay, so when I moved out here, I moved to DC early 2000, and I was like, oh, I want to sing in a band. I want to sing in a go-go band, whatever. So I was on this group, like this messenger back. We used to have boards back then. I think it was T-Mod Go-Go back then. I was on that. Yeah. And I saw this guy put up an ad or a post about needing a female vocalist. I was like, damn, let me hit him up. So it was actually Go-Go Bouncy. He's another one that has like a huge resume that's played with a lot of guys back in the day and all that stuff. So I sent him a message and I was like, hi, my name is Adia, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And he called me in for an audition and I went and auditioned. And that band was called Sounds of One Love. They were out from, I guess, Mo County, I guess is where they sort of were, all those guys. So that was my very first band. And it's funny because he was like, yeah, I reached out to you because you were the only one who sent me back a message that was professional. Like, hi, my name's Adia, yada, yada, yada. And that was my first experience, out there with them. And I mean, I learned a lot. That gave me a nice little feel for how it worked. And after that, I went to Familiar Faces after that.
Okay.
So I was with Sounds of One Love for a few years, probably.
Okay.
And then moved on from there.
How many bands would you say that you've been in?
I've been in a lot of bands. So look, I've been in a lot of bands as official members, and I've also sat in with a lot of bands. So probably as an official member, I mean, Sounds of One Love was my first band. Familiar Faces, I was with them for a little bit of time. Subtle Thoughts, I was a member there. I was a member in Raw Image. I did Project 360.
Wow.
It was another band I was with too. Actually, it was with Slick Rick. And why can't I remember the name?
Sweat Band?
No, it was before that.
Hot Cold Sweat?
Nope.
Crossover?
Crossover, that's the band. Yeah. Oh, and then I was with a band called For Show. It's funny because it's like the same members just sort of rotating in different things. So I have to think about what the hell was the name of that band. But those were probably bands I was actually members of. And I mean, I've sat in with other bands. Oh, I was also a member of Let It Flow too. I was in Let It Flow for a little bit. So I've done a little bit here and there.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I asked that question because all I knew about was Kaddy Musik and Project 360. So I'm glad I asked that.
I have a lot of other experience outside of those guys. Those were in the latter part of the career, but earlier on, definitely a lot of other folks.
Wow. Yeah, I was in Crossover in 2005 for a couple months.
Really?
So, yeah, it was okay. I was trying to lead talk, and Rick at the time he wanted to kind of step down and kind of coach somebody into taking his spot. The whole time he didn't want to leave his spot, so that just didn't work out.
Right. You know how it be sometimes. Yeah. And when I got in there, when they asked me to come, I actually came in to sit in. There was another female there. Rick was doing the lead talking at that time, but And I don't even know if I want to say I was necessarily maybe I was a member. I don't know. I did a lot of shows with them, so maybe. But the premise was not me coming in being a member. It was like sitting in, and you know how it sort of morphs into you being a member somehow. You sit in for a couple of shows, and then somehow you're doing all of them. So
yep,
you know.
yep, exactly. And Rick said that so many people come through his band, he calls it the crossover boot camp.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe it. I mean, and you do get that. The area is not that big, right? So it's just natural that people are sort of, and especially if you're a musician and that's your primary job, you're going where you can get the money at. So,
Yep,
it makes sense that you sort of rotate the same folks a lot of the times.
Exactly. So not to start any confusion, but if you had to say which band was your favorite to work with, which one would you say?
So here's the thing. I look at bands like relationships, right? Like everyone got their shit with them, but it's like whose shit can you deal with
Yes.
the most?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's drama on all forms and all levels and all platforms. I hate when people will do this comparison of a big band versus a little band. Listen, anytime you're dealing with people in a collective group of people, you're always going to have a difference of personalities, and you're always going to have some type of drama to some degree.
True.
Some people just are better at keeping their drama behind closed doors, as it should be, than others. But I don't know. I've literally taken something from all the bands that I've dealt with or been with. I mean, I definitely enjoyed One Love, Sounds of One Love, because I definitely learned a lot, and I really like those guys. I like those guys then. I still like them today. I had a great experience with Let It Flow, dealing with Malik. I mean, out of all, the business was always 100% on point with him. Never had an issue with it. And there was no drama in that band either when I was there. Nothing major. I've taken something from all the bands that I've been in. I've enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed the supporters that come out. I've met some really good people and people who've continued to support me. So, they were not all bad experiences.
But you don't have a favorite per se.
I don't have a favorite per se. I got something different from all of them, and got something different from all of the people that I dealt with. I don't have a favorite. I don't. Okay. Maybe I can say my favorite now is Kaddy Musik, because this is more so my thing, right? So I think anytime that you are a member of somebody else's group, you're dealing with their vision of how they want you. Right. And I've definitely dealt with that as being a challenge in my career, is dealing with people who want to sort of box me in, like, oh, she could hype the crowd, she could do the Little Kim stuff, and it's like, yeah, but I can sing a little bit too, I've had that issue, moving through. So I will say with Kaddy Musik is probably my favorite, because I have more flexibility and freedom to do what I want to do as an artist.
Okay. Well, I haven't had the opportunity to see Kaddy Musik live, but the couple of clips that I've seen, it looks like are you the only one on the front line?
It is only me.
Okay, that's cool.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah, that's cool, new and different. I like it.
Yeah, it is different. Let me tell you, it's a lot of pressure, right? Because being in the go-go world, you're sort of used to the structure of having a lead talker, your rapper, and you have that support across the board, so I know I can sort of maybe BS a little bit right now in this song, and then the rapper can go ahead and pick up some of the slack. But when you are solely the only person there, you have to do everything. So I'm literally like, I'm counting. I'm making sure everyone's knowing where we're going next and the songs that we're going in. So it is a lot of work.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. I give it to lead talkers all day, every day, for being the people that basically, the conductors, they're conducting everything. Yeah. It is a lot of work. A lot of folks think that band stuff is easy. They think that if you can rap, you could just automatically translate it into a go-go band, and you cannot. I think, in my opinion, with go-go, you either got it or you don't. That's just basically the bottom line. You can always learn something. You can always be taught something. But if you don't really have that thing that sort of, stands out to people, if you ain't got that swing, you ain't going to make it. I'm sure like you, I've seen people who, she's a good singer, he's a good singer, but it doesn't work in this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's not to say anything about their craft. They're great at what they do, but it's a huge transition going into the go-go world, So I really believe that you either got it or you don't.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. You hear a lot of singers who can really sing, but once they get in front of a band and get the microphone, it's like you don't even sound like how you sounded before.
No,
Oh,
studio stuff is way different from live shows.
yes.
It's
Yes.
different and anything can happen, and you got to just be able to adapt and sort of roll with the punches and just go from there. So it
Right.
is definitely a different beast in itself.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this one. What would you say was your best and your worst show?
Oh my goodness. I
One
don't
of the
know.
shows that you walked off the stage and you was like, this show was the best ever.
So I'm gonna tell you, I don't really do that. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because I'm my own worst critic, so everything can always be better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've never walked off something like, I killed that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can have a feeling like it was good, and then I'll hear the playback like, Lord Jesus, woo, that was horrible. You know what I'm saying? Or like if I was drinking, woo,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I was killing it and was killing it literally, like not good. So, I mean, I've had shows that I have really enjoyed. Like I really enjoyed a show we did with, I did with Project 360. We were at, oh my God, what is that place called? Place in Annapolis. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. Some big amphitheater or something. That was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that show. I just enjoyed the atmosphere. I mean, the shows at the Howard Theater were always good just for the like historical aspect of being at this building
Yeah.
that so many greats have been and performed in over the years.
Yeah.
So I get more off of that, like just sort of the whole, being sort of overwhelmed with like the history behind certain places, or the
Right.
energy from the crowd. But I can't really say. I mean, I've had shows where I'm like, okay, that was y'all did decent. That was pretty good. But I cannot remember a time where I was like, whoop, killed that. Can't fuck with me.
So,
No, it always could be better.
so what was your worst show? I know you got a worst show.
Sure, I do, and I think that they have been immortalized on record. First of all, let me just say, back in the day, I used to drink a little bit, so
Yeah.
probably a lot. And those are probably the worst shows, right? The ones that was just intoxicated,
Mm-hmm.
horrible. Like but sometimes like listen to some things even now, and I'm like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I cannot believe I said that on the microphone.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, so. I would say probably the worst shows are the ones that I was drinking too much at. If I'm gonna keep it real,
Wow. Well, since we on this subject, I'm gonna tell you one of my worst shows. I'm just gonna
Okay.
tell you one because this interview's about you, not me. But my worst show was in Virginia. We was playing at this club called the Pig's Den, and it's way out in Colonial Beach, Virginia.
Okay.
At the time, my Congo player, I'm not gonna say his name because when he sees this, he's gonna know I'm talking about him. But my Congo player at the time was drinking. Like you said, the drinks, he was drinking. And in the middle of the show, he playing the Congos, he falls over the Congos. Him and the Congos fall off the stage.
I've had some shows like that. I've had shows like that. So it wasn't necessarily with me, but it was, I remember when I was in a band, I won't say the band, and it was a legend, okay, that this happened to. And I don't know if he was under them. I don't know what he was. I'm not going to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know he tried to walk on top of the monitor and it flipped and he went down, and he was like, I'm just going to go ahead and finish the song down here. Man, that shit was so funny. It was so embarrassing, but it was so funny. But he kept on singing this song. But you know what? I just thought about it. The worst show I've ever had, not really a show, it was a performance. I actually was hired to do a wedding with a band. Oh, with a band I used to be with named Soul Sponge. So Soul Sponge is now Brian Mills. He's a sax player, and he has, gosh, I can't think of anyone's name right now. Secret Society. That's what they merged into, right?
Okay.
So we did a wedding one time, and sometimes the people in the wedding party will ask for certain songs or whatever. Yeah. So at the very, very last minute, Brian was like, yeah, they want you to sing this song by Shania Twain, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? Shania Twain, that's a country artist. I don't know any of Shania Twain's songs. So it's this beautiful wedding song. I think it's called In This Moment. Beautiful. So I already was not comfortable with it. I didn't have but a smidget of time to even try to learn it. Man, when I tell you I messed that song up so bad, I was so embarrassed. Not only was I embarrassed, I was so hurt for them because, you know, the last thing you want, right, is in your mind you have this wedding and all these things are going to go perfectly, and then somebody does something and it messes it up. It was so bad. I was like, listen, don't even worry about paying me. Just you keep the money. Because I know and it was the song that they danced on. So I'm just like, what the fuck? I was like, don't even worry about it. And the groom was like, listen, it's all good. It's all good. We're not even tripping. Take the money. I felt so bad.
Wow.
It was horrible. Horrible.
Wow. Glad that's over. Glad that's over.
Me too.
So we're gonna move on. Let me ask you. I just got a few more questions. So
Sure.
so who inspires your singing? Inside GoGo or outside? Just who inspires you? Period.
Well, so inside GoGo, I'm gonna tell you, I take from everyone. Meaning, I respect everyone and what they do for the most part. You know, and I think that everyone has something different to offer. That's one thing that I was taught. I think D. Floyd told me that earlier on when I was first starting. He's like, you know, go out and check people out, you know, see other female singers. I think at that time Michelle Blackwell was doing her thing, and it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of females that was doing anything early on that I, you know, offhand just knew. I think Maisha and the Hip Hoppers, she was doing her thing. So I would go out and I would check them out, and Miss Kim, all of them. Check it out, see what they were doing, not necessarily copy or steal, but just sort of see how they worked the crowd and how that could maybe be, you know, worked in what I did.
Right.
So I thought that was a great thing. That definitely helped a lot. So, I mean, I look at Michelle Blackwell. I think she's phenomenal. I love her lead talking, her leadership, all that. I mean, definitely someone that I've listened to, you know, over the years, just sort of picking up different pointers and just sort of seeing how she commanded the stage and, you know, so forth and so on. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really important. And I also always say that to people starting out, you know, I've had people ask me, well, what can I do and how do I? And I'm like, go out and see people, you know, see what they're doing, see how you can transpose that into what you're doing, make it your own, not copy, but see what they're doing and see what the formula is and sort of make it work for you, implement that into how you're performing.
Right.
So that's why I say about the go-go side of it. But I mean, as far as outside entities, I mean, everybody, I love old school. So, you know, I love me some Patty and love Jill, Erica. I mean, I have an appreciation for all vocalists and all singers and all different genres. I think that you could just pull them from everyone and just learn something from it.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. If you could play with any band, what band would it be?
Go band?
Yeah. GoGo band.
None of them. None of them.
Why do you say that?
Band, Kaddy Musik. Yeah, I don't want to play with bands. So like I said earlier, you know, when you get with somebody else's band, you're basically getting with their vision on what they want you to be. You're only going to go but so far. You know, I'm not saying this people sort of strike. I'm not going to say people sort of like try to box you in, but I mean, a lot of people do box you in. You know, again, it's their band, their vision. They have a vision on how they want it to go. So they're only going to let you do but so much that fits in with their vision. So at this point, I wouldn't want to play with anybody outside of my own. I'm too old now. I'm older. I don't have the desire to deal with certain things. Yeah. I'm just not, you're not going to say anything to me. I'm not the green kid that I was when I first started, you know, so at this point, none of them. Okay.
I totally respect that question. Do you feel that there's any competition when it comes to go-go?
So as a whole or with female vocalists or?
I would say more so with females.
Okay, so I don't think it should be a competition. Although we know that people like to sort of put people against each other. You know, we see posts all the time, who's the better band, this band or that band. And I think that sort of just causes divide, right? I never look at anyone as being competition for me. And that's not saying that cocky. It's just saying from the standpoint of we all offer something uniquely different, right? We're under the same umbrella of doing something similar, but we all offer something different. You know, what Michelle Blackwell does, she does well. I don't do what Michelle Blackwell does. What I do, I do well to my best ability. You know, the next person can't necessarily, you know, everyone does their own thing. They're not going to do, you know, I don't know. I just don't think it's a reason for it to be a competition. I think everyone gives something unique to the culture, and that's more so what we should look at versus who's better than who and, you know, all that mess. We all have our own preference of things, but I don't feel it should be a competition.
Okay. That right there answers that for me. So does Kaddy Musik and yourself, y'all have any future plans and where we could find you guys and your music at?
Sure. Well, we are on Facebook. You can check us out there. Kaddy Musik, Kaddy Musik, Musik. We have, I think our website is linked to that Facebook page, as well as some videos and whatnot. The unfortunate thing is right now, of course, everyone is dealing with the whole COVID-19, and that has put a hold on like everything at this point.
Yes.
So right now we are really starting motorcycles in the back. Everyone has a motorcycle out today. Sorry about that. But right now we're just sort of on pause, trying to wait for the, you know, rest of the world to open up so we can go back outside and play. You know, but we do have recordings on our Facebook page and our website, so you can definitely download them for free, by the way, and check them out and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, right now everything is on hold. This whole virus and the state that our country is in has just put a pause on everything.
Yes, it's real unfortunate. Let me ask you this one question before I let you go. If you could see anybody that I could interview on this show, who would you like to see interviewed? As far as
Michelle Blackwell would be a great person.
Michelle Blackwell?
Have you had Michelle on? Yeah, have you had her on yet?
No, not yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, I think she would be a great person to interview. She has so much wealth of knowledge. I think she'd be really good. And also very good on the political side of the house, too, just by the way. Just FYI. Now, I don't know if you get into the politic talk. I decided to keep that out today, but
yeah, I'm not even going to get into
extra stuff. Yeah, she's really good. I think it would be beneficial for, you know, you to have her on and also just see what she's doing as far as in the community. She has so much going on. So I think she'd be a really good person to interview.
Okay, good. So before I let you go, Adia, is there anything else that you want the people to know?
No, I mean, we covered a lot. You know, I appreciate you having me on. You know, I appreciate, you know, you inviting me to come on your platform and all that stuff. So, you know, yeah, check us out, Kaddy Musik.
All right, good. Well, y'all heard it right here, people. This is FaceTime with GoGo, Miss Adia, Kaddy Musik. We appreciate you coming through, and we'll check y'all out next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Nobody,